What is going on, YouTube? NEWBtoPRO here, bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 gameplay video. Here today, we're going to be hitting the second episode of our CoD fundamentals, and we're going to be covering Hardpoint, which is a pretty big game mode that I see a lot of people struggle with. And hopefully in this video, we'll be able to sort that out and fix that. So everything we're going to be covering in today's video, it's actually quite a lot. We're going to be covering early rotations, blocking spawns, cutting off rotations, the type of specialist you need to be using, what to be watching for while you're in the game, flooding hills, and hitting out spawns. As of right now, I'm pretty sure that's all I can think of fundamentally that you guys should probably know for Hardpoint and how to play a better Hardpoint. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with rotating early. That is the epitome of Hardpoint. You want to be rotating early to get the initial set of time on the new hill when it pops up, and you want to be kind of controlling the spawns. So getting an early rotation is going to help you to lock down spawns, B, get control of the hill when it rotates over, and C, kind of get control of the map a little bit easier. And by that, we're actually going to segue into the next one, which is blocking spawns. So, for example, like right here, as you can see me kind of holding this little pipe area. Say for that back orange hill there, you want to be spawning behind the hill. So like here's the hill, you want to be spawning behind it back there. Just behind the hill. Or for example, this blue hill. We'll switch it over because it rotated. You want to be spawning in the back of the blue hill. In order to do that successfully, with the pressure coming in from the enemy team, you want to have 2 bodies in the back minimum. You want to have somebody around elbow, kind of checking elbow and watching lobby, preferably like a Maddox or an ICR. And then you want to have like another person watching the pipes push, which is behind me over there to the right of the screen, because that's a pretty heavy flood point. So again, you want to have like an ICR or a Maddox watching that as well. And the reason being is because these hills right here, or this blue hill here, is so small that you want to let your subs kind of control that hill and let them do like their slaying thing there, and just kind of have your ICRs hold back spawns and stuff like that, so you guys can just get to the hill as soon as you die and just ride off the back and keep the pressure up on the hill. Going from that one, how I just died there, I went to enter segue. I went to cut off the rotation, which I'm doing right here as well. I'm trying to cut off the rotation from mid to that next hill. Cutting off rotations is where it's like you can see your team set up at the next hill, and you're kind of watching from where people typically push from. So like rotating around from the old hill, or pushing like that mid one on this map specifically. You want to be killing them and making sure that basically your team has enough of a bubble in the hill to really just kind of focus on getting the hill time and holding lanes and holding angles and getting set up. So pushing out, once you have, once you've rotated early, and you've gotten the kills on rotation, you want to kind of push out of the hill, like kind of again making a bubble, and that will allow you guys to just kind of be really relaxed in the hill. And that's just something I never see a lot of people do when I'm in league playing stuff. Like nobody ever pushes out of the hill. Everybody just kind of like stacks the hill and just headbutts it like all the time. So that's like a really important thing that I feel like people should know, and that's pushing out of the hill and getting control of the map, for a lack of a better term. That guy just got pooped on. Segueing into the next portion, I want to talk about specialists that you guys need to be using, because I see this all the time in league play and it actually sickens me. If you're running a SOG, I don't want to see you running a recon. That I will literally throw my controller. I will spike my controller at your forehead if I see that. I will come to your house and I will spike my controller into your forehead if you're a SOG and you're trying to run recon. Here's why. Specific guns fit with specific play styles, just as well as specific specialists fit with specific play styles. And I feel like a lot of people don't take that in consideration. So if you're running a SOG, like just SOG the whole time, you're running around, cracked out of your mind, trying to kill everything you see, you want to be either running a Ruin, a Battery, or a Crash. And the reason being is those have very small, you know, scores to earn those specialists. So if you're running around killing everything, getting into a lot of engagements, getting a lot of team shots in, and getting like a lot of score throughout the map, you know, you're going to be more inclined to be getting those specialists more frequently, which is good for the team. If you're running an ICR, not going to be in a lot of engagements, really just holding a lane from like a head glitch or on an angle. You want to be, you know, running specialists that kind of fit that slower playstyle. So, you know, something along the lines of Recon or a Tempest is usually what you're going to see coming out of ICR players. Tempest isn't super... it doesn't take a lot to get that one. I think that's only like 1500 score. So like faster ICR players, more inclined like a Maddox, second ICR for some maps. That's what you'll see running like the Tempest or things like that. So if you know there's a map where you switch between a Maddox and an ICR, so like you need like another ICR on this hill, but on this hill it's a little bit smaller and compact, so you're going to pull out a Maddox for it. Then, you know, you could be somebody that's running like the Tempest, while like the guy that's just sitting on a head glitch and stuff with an ICR just holds Recon. Next, if you're switching between like a Maddox and a SOG, like you're trying to be fast-placed and, you know, you're just kind of, you know, swapping in between those two. Really good specialist for you guys is going to be Firebreak or Crash, specifically like on Seaside and that Beer Hill. And even on this map, Frequency is really good to do that. So if you're like jumping in between like a Maddox and a SOG and you're trying to play really fast, but you're also kind of like a third SOG slash second AR, you're probably going to be more inclined to be running the Firebreak or the Crash specialist. And that's really it. That's simple. Like just know your role, know your gun, and know what you need to be running. Segueing into the next one, it's going to be just keeping an eye on what the enemy team has as far as specialist-wise, and just paying attention to the enemy team's score, so you know what specialists they have and when they have them. You know, and you know, to put it simply, Battery takes 1500 score. So if you're watching their Battery player and you see that they have like 1400 score, every kill on here is 100, 125 if you got Crash ammo. You want to start, you know, you want to hit that call out, be like, yo, start putting on flak, they're about to get War Machine. And you want to make the note to yourself to put on flak, to put on War Machine, so you don't get bodied by the War Machine, like that. Crash is 1425 on score, so you can get that pretty effectively. You could probably, if you're popping off as like a SOG or whatever, you could probably get that 3 times a game. I mean, I've definitely done it. This is some top tier score usage or streak usage right here. Threading the needle, baby. What is it? Flame. So Firebreak. That's a bit of a higher end specialist. Takes around 1950 to earn that one. Typically only going to see that max twice a game. Twice a map. You know, if you're getting bodied, you see a guy pull out Flame 3 times, that's just depressing. Might have to reassess some things. Profit's going to be 1500, and I will leave all this in the description below for you guys. Profit is going to be 1500, so you could potentially get that 3 times in a game, just depending on how competitive it is. Recon's 22. I have seldom seen that used more than once a game, no matter how hard somebody's going. Very rare will I see that twice in a map. So Recon's going to be a really, you have to be very smart about when you use Recon, because you only get it pretty much once a game. Ruin's 1500, so you can get that about 3 times a game pretty easily. If you're playing out of your mind, you know. Not to mention, you know, positioning with grapple and things like that. You could definitely get Ruin 3 times a game. And then Zero's 1800. hit that 2 times a game, but because of the specialist that it is, you know, you would only really utilize it when there's like a chopper or something in the air. So that you would basically earn it and wait for like a high tier streak to be called, and then you would utilize it. So flooding spawns is the next point that I want to hit on, and that's when like the hill is just rotated or it's a pretty fresh hill. Don't headbutt the front of the hill. Set up with your team and flood the back through one of the side lanes. Either this lane or this lane. You know, left or right. Just flood it, head out to spawns, kill the teammates they have in the back, play trades effectively, then your team will spawn right there, and you'll get pressure, and you'll basically flood into the back of the hill now. And it's pretty much like a guaranteed break if you do that. Or that's hitting out spawns, sorry. So yeah, that's how you would hit out spawns, and then like flooding hills is like referring to like when it's like kind of on the, like the hill's been active for a little while, and you're just trying to get control of it, get some good time out of it. That's when you want to like just flood one point. Okay, just hit literally one point. So on this hill, you would just flood window or flood plat. That's effectively. You know, you would just like flood one of those 2 points and just swarm everybody in there and just play trades. And you know, if everything goes well, then you'll have control of the hill. You can branch out, hit the spawns out, and be good to go. Now, as far as hitting out the spawns, like I said, fresh new hill, pretty new hill. You want to be hitting out one of the side lanes of the map, and then just team stack the back and just play trades there. That way you can just get control of the spawns. Your teammates spawn back up right on top of you. The next thing you know, it's just a really easy way to break the hills. That's just unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. 55 and 20 for the L. Teammates weren't really playing super high objective, honestly, or not really objective. Like, they just weren't playing properly. Like, they just kept headbutting a lot of things. They weren't waiting for teammates, doing a lot of things that I've said not to do. Or they were not doing a lot of things I've said to do in this video, and they ended up kind of costing a little bit. Goes to show you, no matter much you slay, you can still lose the map. But yeah, that pretty much covers Hardpoint. I know that's pretty fast. It's hard to, I don't know, get all this in compact because there's just a lot of fundamental stuff that needs to be said. There's just a lot of fundamentals that you guys need to know, and it just doesn't all fit in like a 5-minute little skit, you know? So yeah, if you have any more questions about Hardpoints or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. If you want a little bit more elaboration, again, comments down below. I usually respond to you guys within like the first 24 hours of you guys posting comments. So yeah, as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.